so my main focus is to show you like the concept of what central angles are. The center angle is equal to the arc that it opens up to. So all of these angles equal this arc that it opens up to. Here's the deal. It's like you are given 3 of these. So like if this is 60, this arc out here is 60 as well. This is 52. That's 52 out there. All right. What does this box mean? 90. Thank you. That is a struggle for people, and people tend to forget that that even exists because there's no number there. But you might see a box there and have to know that it's 90 degrees. Okay, so there's some different things that we need to do to solve some of these. So like FB, for one, we already have it. So FB, we know that if this angle, this arc, or that, I'm just going to write 60 there. I'm not saying words that make sense. So this angle is 60 degrees. The arc it opens up to is also 60. All right, and then we've got F, then C, then B. If you had a hard time understanding that, or if you weren't here yesterday, especially pay attention to this. So this is FCB. So what you want to do is start at F, and then you want to go to C, but you can't cross B first. And I think that's what confuses people. The endpoints are F and B. So you start at F, and then you've got to go to C, and then to B. So it's actually this like giant arc that goes all the way around here. You can't cross B and then go back to it. Hopefully that like makes sense and you understand like the concept of how to solve for this. But F all the way to C, all the way to B. So really what you need to do is you need to have the entire circle except this one arc right here. You just don't want this piece because you're going all the way around. So how many degrees is a whole circle all the way around? So 180 is half. 360, yes. So 180 is that number. We use a lot. And you're actually going to use the 180 a lot with this as well. So that's one number to keep in mind. But 360 is the whole circle. Take away what you're not using, because you're using F all the way to C to B. So this entire arc, take away 60, 300 is going to be your answer for that. All right, so sometimes you will have to add numbers together. Other times you will subtract. It just depends on what you're given. All right, FE. All right, we got to figure out what this one is, FE. Well, in order to do that, here's what I want you to do. I want you to like physically take your hand and humor me and cover up half of this circle. Okay, what does that mean? That means that BE is a diameter. Diameters cut the circle in half. When you cut the circle in half, you guys just said 180. That's half a circle. So we're going to use 180 here to solve for FE. So half of this circle, because we've covered up half of it with our hand, and it really helps to cover it up with your hand, I promise, is 180. And we want to take away FB. So we want to take away 60. And what's going to be left over is 120. And that's how you solve for FE. You'll see that? 120 is right here. How did I know that I can do that? And mainly, if it looks like a diameter, it is a diameter. Like you've got to assume that lines that are straight across are diameters. And like, so this one, obviously, it's not, you can't go DF as a diameter because that's curved right there. But this one right here cuts it in half, so use 180 instead of 360. All right. Next, E, then A, then F. Notice what this is. This is an angle. We already know that this arc is 120, so I know that this angle is 120. So basically, can you identify what an angle is? E, then A, then F. It's this angle right here. Okay, last one, EAD. All right, this is the last one in the entire circle. So basically what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to add all of these arcs up and take them away from 360. So 120 plus 60 plus 52 plus 90. So I added this one, this one, this one, and this one. And I need to take those away from 180, or not 180, from the entire circle, from 360. So for this, I add 120 plus 60 plus 90 plus 52, and I get 322. That's the number I need to subtract from 360. So 360 minus 322, 38 is what's going to go right here and right here. Okay, one important thing that you're going to say, this is label all the angles and arcs here. So this one thing that two diameters, we're going to write this. Diameters create vertical angles. What does that look like? And you guys probably thought we were done with vertical angles. We are not. They kind of just always appear. But I want you to find that there's two diameters here. So like one of them is CE and one of them is DA. All right, those are the two diameters. They intersect. So see how those like form an X? Like look at those diameters. See how they form an X? CE and DA. And those are going to create vertical angles. And then you know that these two are going to add up to, well, no, they don't add up to, they are equal to each other. So how do we know that both of these are 55? You know that because two diameters create vertical angles. They intersect, they create this X, and then those opposite angles are going to be vertical. Okay, so that's 55 there. These are also 55 because these all match. The angles match the arc. Okay, and then next, you're going to take one of those diameters and you're going to cover up half of the circle. So I'm going to cover up the left-hand side of the circle. And you may notice that we've got 180 degrees here, and we know that this is 55. So if we take 180 and we subtract 55 from it, I think that's 125. But I'm going to do this so that I don't, mess it up. Okay, cool. 125 is what you're going to have here. And then how did I know to do that? I knew to do that because I saw a diameter. That's how you know to do that. All right, you see the diameter, you cover it up with your hand, and you're like, okay, I need to then take away 55 from 180 because half of the circle is 180. Whatever's left over is going to be this arc right here. All right, last thing. You've got this piece. There's two ways to do this. You either cut this in half and you subtract both 55 and 30 from 180, and that's what's going to be left over, or you do have everything else in the circle, so you could add all of these up and subtract from 360. It's up to you and whatever you feel more comfortable with. I'm going to choose to add these together and subtract them from 180 because I feel like that's less work. So I'm going to take 30 and 55 and add them together and get 85. Okay, these two. And then I'm going to take 180 and subtract 85 from it, and then what's left over is going to be 95, which goes right here. Oh, I can't see that. All right. Okay, things that I am noticing about here. There are no diameters. Okay? There are no diameters. So that's one thing that I am going to observe. So we can't cut this in half. All right, these markings right here, does anyone have any idea what these markings are? Like these little arc marks. They're congruent. John gets a sucker. That is correct. Yeah, so that's what those mean. They mean that they are the same. So, these are equal. These two angles are equal to each other. So if this is 2x minus 19, this is the same thing. These mean they are congruent. Angle APD is congruent to angle DPB. Anytime you see those markings, it means they're the same. Okay, last but not least, we've got all four of these arcs. So what do all four arcs add up to? Like if you add them together, what would they equal? It's one of the two numbers we've talked about today. All right, we're going to add them up correctly. 65 plus 3x plus 4 plus 2x minus 19 plus 2x minus 19 equals 360. There it is. And I think they're all correct now. And I'm going to take my 2x, and 3x, so these, add them all up together. I get 7x. And then take these numbers, 65, 4 and 19. Minus negative 19. And that actually was correct, I think. 65, 4, and 19. So minus 31 equals 360. All right, and then we're going to add 31 on both sides because this is, nope, we're going to subtract 31 because I don't know why I put minus, but it is positive because when we add these together, you get a positive number. So we're going to take 360 and we are going to subtract 31 on both sides. And you get 329. And then you can just divide by 7 on both sides. So it's been a little bit since we've done just solving an equation. So that will be a little bit of an adjustment. Just a second. Once I pass out this worksheet. But that's what it looks like. Ultimately, you're going to have to figure out how to set the equation up and what to solve. It will not always be solved this way. It really is just going to take practice and working on different types of problems.